cruising is good. Cruising is good. And I had set up my company to cruise well, but I didn't keep I took my eyes off the dashboard a little bit too long and too much. And so things got off course.
This is amazing that you have, a part-time entrepreneur and a full-time dad. And most people have the opposite, right? Like being an entrepreneur, they say, oh, I've heard people say, if you're not working 80 hours a week, you're not an entrepreneur. Like people actually say this. And then here you are having a really, successful business. And I don't know if you want to say exactly what that is, but there's multiple commas involved and you've done really well, right? And you are doing this part. So this is a reality. And that's why, I think partly we have like a little bit of a responsibility to share these things because you and I both, I know in your heart, you want to help other people have this. And it's all comes down to beliefs. Cause you're kind of saying what I just heard you say, just to reiterate, is that you had this paradigm shift. You flipped it. And it was, through some outside force. It was like me saying, hey, Rhett, what if we design your life and then build your business around that? And it was like, what are you talking about? Usually it's the other way around. And so just by us sharing your story, it's a blessing to other people because it's not just me sharing it. Now you're sharing it. It's like proof that other people are doing this. So then thereby the belief can be stronger for other people. So I guess when you look at designing your life, like,
Okay. Steve, I do remember that watershed moment. It was when you told me I need to know my numbers and you had asked me if I had my books in order. And I told you, no, it's a complete mess or I didn't have anything. And so you said, the first thing I need to do is to the copy of QuickBooks and to start to enter in my sales and expenses. And so that's the first thing I did. So I think for any entrepreneur, and if you're whether you're a wannabe entrepreneur or an entrepreneur just getting started, or even an experienced entrepreneur, most entrepreneurs just want to go. They just want to sell, or they want to, build. They want to work on everything except for the numbers. Nobody wants to do the numbers, right? So to stop, to enter in, do some of that dirty work and put in the numbers. I could see, okay, where are my sales coming from? How much am I spending? And that started to build a map. Okay. And then I could see, okay, here's where I'm at and this is where I want to go. So that's number one. You need to have your books in order, period.
It makes so much evidence of what to do. Cause then when you are that go person, you can go in the right direction. Cause if you go, and then you hit a wall and then it hurts financially, I do remember that when you and I worked together and we created a dashboard that evolved over like the 8 years that we worked together.
Yes.
And that dashboard really shows you, just like a car,
right?
It just shows you like, am I out of gas?
Right.
Do I need more gas? Do we need more oil? Are we going good? And even now it's like how, look at our new cars. Now it has tire pressure gauges and all these gauges, right? So we know like what's going on. And if you know what's going on, then you can actually have the dream that you're having right now.
Yeah.
You can actually look at your dashboard, know the health of your business, and then know that you can go outside with your son and play. Because you know the business. And then you also can see, oh no, what happened there? And then you can pull out emergency phone calls and say, hey, we got a hole in the tire. Let's fix this,
So it was one step at a time. It was, okay, enter in my sales, enter in my expenses. Now build the dashboard. And so with that, we started to track what stores, our online stores, are doing what. And we started to build other metrics that would help us make good business decisions. So and we started to break it down. We didn't do it all at once.
No.
This was an evolution. We started to add, okay, well, now we've got this metric down. and I mean, even after a year, let's start to track this. And that would also help, make some good business decisions. So yeah, I mean, I think the number one thing, and it sucks, I know, I hate doing it. I mean, I have to put on techno music when I'm looking at numbers to keep me awake. It's
and
it is
now you
my
have
least
people
favorite
helping
thing.
you. And now you have people helping you, right?
I
So we get
do.
bookkeepers and all that. But at the beginning, I remember the beginning when you were in that basement, it was you. Like you literally entered every bit in there, was making your own P&L until we had enough revenue to get a bookkeeper.
Right. Yep. Then I was able to afford a full-time bookkeeper. Yep. Yeah.
And then the reward is that much greater because you like don't want to do this. But it's one of those things. It's it's so important to know what's going on, because then we have the business information to make the decisions, and it's important.
Even if it's ugly. I mean, even if it's ugly, you just have to know, and it's not going to always be pretty. But that's how that's how you are able to determine what you need to fix. Some people want to put their head in the sand and not see the reality of their business. But number one.
Yeah,
so
just one
thing.
story popped in my head right when you said that. I had another client that was like, I'm terrible at my books. And I'm like, and I was doing the same thing I was doing with you, Rhett. I was like, we got to look at the books. Looked at the books. The books were immaculate. It was like, oh my gosh. Like I was thinking the worst because he told me, but the numbers were ugly.
Yeah.
They were negative. It was not the numbers you wanted, but I was like, your books are great. You're tracking everything great. What we don't like is your business. Like we need to change the business, but then we were able to change it. And now that person that I'm talking about has a $1 million business.
Yeah.
And it's just able to buy the house of his dreams recently before this. And, it's those things, those stories come from us knowing and tracking. And many entrepreneurs have said this before, business people, is that what is not measured cannot be grown. Like if we want to grow something or we want to improve something, then we got to know where we're starting and then where do we want to go. And then when you and I did that exercise, what became apparent was it just to shed some more light, because I don't like to be vague. Like sometimes I like to get granular on this show because I want to help people. But how did we know what to track? I would ask you questions. I'll be like, okay, well, what's most important? What gives us our highest profit? How can we increase profit? And then we started tracking what would tell us the answer, right?
Yeah. What stores were most profitable, and where do we start to focus our resources in terms of our human resources, time, energy, money. And it worked out great. Now I did take my eye off the ball. I mean, there was a period where I took my eye and really didn't look at, I'll have to admit, with all this freedom, I remember in 2017, the machine was running. I mean, the machine was running. I was my best year ever. I worked maybe literally the 4-hour work week. I mean, and I was bored. It was the perfect timing because my son was just born in late October, in late 2016 in October. And so I took 2017 just to cruise. Now, cruising is good. And I had set up my company to cruise well, but I didn't keep I took my eyes off the dashboard a little bit too long and too much. And so things got off course. So 2018, I had to refocus, look at the numbers. And had some bumps in the road, but got back on track. Thankfully I had to make some adjustments, but that's entrepreneurship. You're gonna find bumps in the road, and that's another thing. It's not going to always be smooth. I mean, in business, especially when you have your own business, I mean, there's going to be curveballs, things that you don't expect. and it's going to always come at you. You just have to, you have to, you have to be resilient. You have to not panic, and you have to adapt when necessary, and keep moving forward. Yeah, because
that's always, go ahead. There's always
yeah,
change. There's
yeah,
always change.
there is always change, um, so I started. So I'm in e-commerce now, and I've been in e-commerce for the last 10 years, and it has evolved so much, so much. Um, all these different marketplaces from Amazon, eBay, you know, Walmart, and just the way the consumers, consumer behavior, how they shop. I mean, this is everything's so fluid, changing. Policies are changing. I mean, you really have to be um, on top of your business and your industry, and you have to be ready to adapt and change. And especially in this industry that I'm in, e-commerce has changed so much. And yeah, and no matter what industry you're in, you just have to be ready to adapt and change, and and handle the adversities that can and will come.
And it goes hand in hand with what we've already been talking about, because basically once we set up that dashboard, we're able to see the things quicker. So it's kind of like having better headlights on your car when you're in the fog, like you can see, or you have fog lamps, you can switch those on. We're able to see those things quicker. And then sometimes when we put it on cruise control a little too long, and then we're like, oh crap, there's a bumper coming up. Hey there, I want to give you something really big. It's called Clear Path to Customers. It's the way that we get the right language to get the right client. I like to call them your wow clients, so that you can have more results, more revenue, more raving fans, and more referrals. And I want to give this to you absolutely free. And all you have to do is go to stevenapolitan.com to check it out, or you can look at the description here. We'll put the details there. As always, remember, choose gratitude and create freedom.